All right, everybody. Bingo, Bingo. Celtics training camp preseason, 1 week away. We're almost there. So tonight, we're going to help you get your preseason bingo cards ready. What does that mean? Are we positive we know what it means? Maybe, maybe not. Stick around, turn it up, relax, sit back, relax, enjoy. It's another episode of Green with Envy. You guys know the deal. Let's lock in. What up, what up, what up? Welcome into another edition of Green with Envy. Shout out to everybody joining us live on YouTube and on Twitter. We are gearing up for training camp and preseason. As always, this is your boy Will Weir checking in. How you doing? How you living? Joining me, as he does each and every time, my best friend, co-host, the Bingo Police Chairman, the one and only Greg Manakis. Greg, what's popping? It's almost time for some real basketball.
Do you have a favorite bingo moment or like pop culture bingo reference?
Other than our text exchange today, which I really enjoyed, we'll talk about here in just a second. That might have skyrocketed to the top. I don't know that I used to play bingo. I feel like I used to play bingo with my grandma. I guess that's probably the closest. I don't know if I have a specific bingo moment. Do you have one? I don't know. Yeah, I don't really have one that's jumping to mind right now.
I got to go Curb Your Enthusiasm, where Larry's playing bingo with like all the old people, and I think it's like at his dad's retirement home or something like that. And he gets bingo, and he's just going bingo, bingo. That's my hit.
So that made me think there is one, and it's iconic. It's Troy Brown. Bingo! I got bingo. We win again. From his commercial when he did it at the Patriots. I don't know if that was after the first Super Bowl or second Super Bowl. But the Troy Brown, bingo, I got bingo, we win again. That's a good one. That's a good one right there.
I don't even know what you're talking about, but it sounds great.
You don't remember this? This is from when one of the Patriots championship rally parades right in front of City Hall. Oh, dude, there's got to be a clip out there somewhere.
So many parades, Will, so many rings over the years. They all kind of just blend together.
They all just blur together at this point. God damn, we are privileged. Well, Pats were not privileged yesterday. Red Sox not privileged yesterday either. So, it all becomes cyclical. So we'll see where we go from here. But as we mentioned, Celtics gearing up. We are 1 week out from media day, training camp getting started. Real basketball is just around the corner. So we're starting to gear up, starting to think about the preseason, and we wanted to try to do this in a fun way. We could just sit here and do, the bullet point version of this, but we wanted to come up with something creative. So I'm going to bring in producer Alex Gonzalez here for us. We had an interesting text exchange today, boys. We were trying to figure out what to do. And Greg came up with a great idea. He's like, let's do bingo. Let's come up with like a bingo concept. Of course, the old thing, didn't have that on my bingo card when something happens, but let's apply it to the context of the preseason and try to predict. But got into a little predicament. And Greg, I want to make sure this is okay with you.
Yeah.
We were trying to figure out the parameters of how bingo works. And very, text-wise, felt aggressively that I was told by you, there's only one way and one way only that bingo works, and it's 5x5. Despite my time constraint suggestion of doing a 4x4 card, have we loosened up that stance at all right now? Have you run this up the poll to the bingo police chief?
Listen, man, all I was saying was that when you play bingo, there are 5 columns, right? One for each letter of the word bingo. So I was trying to make it fun and say, let's come up with some sort of Celtic like acronym that we can use for each of those letters if you're going 4x4. You then came at me super hot and just started telling me that I was the bingo police and started fucking screenshotting bingo rules to me. So I was just like, all right, man, fuck you. So that's kind of where I'm. But I have no predilections for what I think bingo should be. I was just trying to come up with some basketball related term for bingo, but bingo's fine. Why change the old hat?
It's classic. It works. I mean, in 5x5, that is as I looked up through my Perplexity app today, that is the traditional way, which no one can argue with. BINGO, 5x5, BI on each side, makes total sense. But I think for ours, we're going to do 4x4 for the sake of time, because we know how long we tend to run here. But we're going to, Alex, I wanted you on here, number one, just as a witness to this conversation. But number two, we need to kind of finalize some of the rules of what we want to establish, because the goal after this is going to be, once we come up with our 16 bingo squares, Alex is then going to work on putting together an actual bingo card that we can then put together. And if you guys want to join in, we'll try to send it out, put it in the DMs, or we'll put it, on Twitter, on Instagram. We'll figure out a way to share it. So that will be on us. That's our homework. But we need to come up with these 16 different squares. So my original thought process here is that we kind of throw out different topics and or statements, and then we figure out a way to frame that as to what would make sense to put on a bingo card. Alex or Greg, what are you guys thinking here as to how we can make this work best?
Go ahead, Alex.
My idea was kind of just like, what are things that might happen? Like, what are you expecting to happen in preseason or training camp? Like, I'll be honestly, in the future, like, I haven't been that locked into preseason. I haven't watched a lot of Celtics preseason basketball, so I'm not sure. Like, I've been to Celtics Wizards, and they had like the starters play the first quarter or the first half. But like, my idea was like, what do you think would happen during preseason or like during training camp? Like, how many times is Joe Mazzulla going to say a funny quote, like over under 4.5 times, something like that? Who's going to define their role in a preseason game? Like, who's going to stand out? Stuff like that. Stuff that could happen. But at the same time, we throw in a couple fun ones. Like, is Anthony Simons going to get a presser? Who knows? Still hasn't got a press conference yet. So I know he's been in the facility, but he hasn't actually been announced on the team. So there's like things like that should happen. You could throw in a couple of those things that might happen. Maybe like a Peyton Pritchard half-court buzzer beater. That could happen. Who knows?
I love it. I like the way that you're thinking. Alex, by the way, just started is it internship or job with the Capitals?
Internship started on Thursday.
Okay, so tell real quick, 1 minute, tell the people what you're doing for the Washington Capitals.
I'm helping out with their digital media team, kind of what I'm doing here, but on a larger scale.
Hey.
This is a professional goddamn operation here.
You're fired.
Yeah. I've only been there 2 days. I didn't go in today. I didn't have practice, so they didn't want me in. But going in tomorrow, haven't done much. Was like 4 feet away from Ovechkin. Pretty surreal moment for me. Yeah, I'm excited to work there. I'm excited to help the team, and I can't wait for the season to get started. They actually played the Bruins in Boston yesterday for their first preseason game. So
that's awesome, man.
Yeah,
and you're also writing for Celtics blog now.
Yes, I am. My first article pending, so be on the lookout for that if you're a Celtics blog enjoyer. It's about Jaylen Brown. So
okay.
So if Tendelson, if you read that, I hope you're going to be happy about that one.
I like where your brain is at. Congrats on all the success, Alex. That's great. Things that you're expecting to happen, things you're wanting to happen. Because I was kind of thinking about this, like, should this bingo game be each member of the team has their own card and we're like playing bingo against each other, or is it a collective Green with Envy community bingo card? Right. So like when all of these things happen, like the GWE community wins the bingo game, or are we competing? I'm kind of leaning towards it's just a community thing and fans can play along.
Because I like the idea that like each week we can kind of update it. We don't do it every episode, but maybe if once we're going to get back to 2 episodes a week here in the near future. So we can do 1 episode each week. Let's check in with our bingo card. Let's kind of see where we're at, and then we can keep updating it. So I think the community idea is definitely what I'm on board for. And I think, Alex, what you were saying as far as how we fill out the squares, I think it's a mix of everything that you were saying. Like some of it is things that might happen on court, right? Some of it's going to be, I think some of it's even like narrative, like there's going to be a podcast about this, or someone in the general media sense is going to have this hot take. Like there's things like that we can kind of mix together. So I think what we need to do right now is we need to come together and we need to figure out what are the 16 best squares that we can come up with. So let's start breaking this down here. So I think what we can do is we'll just kind of go around the horn here. And we'll just start throwing ideas out, and then we'll try to whittle it down to what our best 16 are. Greg, do you want to kick us off here with something that you think is like no doubt got to be on there?
Also, if in the chat you can comment too if you have any.
Yes, good call, Alex. That's why he's the producer, man. So we get the fucking jobs.
So I just real quick, I also want to just throw out some other things I was thinking about. So it could be like something an announcer says on a broadcast.
Yep.
Right. Maybe something that fans say to each other on Twitter. Maybe we like do a quick Twitter search and we find somebody, or like something on the bingo card. T. Nelson yells at us for something that we, he tells us Jaylen Brown's going to meet MVP or something. Maybe it could be something in the podcast universe, something that pops up on ESPN. It could be something that like a player says in one of the press conferences. So the first one I was thinking is like somebody says, "This is the best shape I've ever been in. I'm ready for the challenge." Like some generic quip that a player has.
I think the only caveat I would say that is we should make it specific. Like I think
Okay.
for that, like I think it should be, not everything has to be specific, but I think for that one, it should
be like a certain player.
Yeah, exactly. Did you have someone in mind that you were thinking? I mean, that is a very like where someone's going to say that on media day. There's no doubt about it. It's just a matter of who do you think is going to say it, or who do you think is going to be said about as well. That can also be in there.
I'm going to go Jordan Walsh. First one, Jordan Walsh is going to say, "This is the best shape I've ever been in. I'm ready for the challenge." Or there's like somebody like on a broadcast, Scal talks about like if Jordan Walsh has a moment in one of the preseason games, he'll talk about how like everybody around camp is saying how Jordan Walsh looks the best he's ever looked. Jordan Walsh is my pick for this guy's in the best shape of his life. And that's, I think that's a good place to start talking about Jordan Walsh.
I mean, it's the preseason. So that's the other thing that we should add to this. This all needs to happen before game 1 of the regular season. So it has to be contextualized within that bubble. This is from starting at media day through right before the day before game 1. That's when we're looking for this to happen. So I like that, because Jordan Walsh, I mean, Alex made the point here. If you're going to be tuning in to lock it into some Celtics preseason basketball, you're going to see Jordan Walsh. Will we see him starting opening night? TBD. It could depend how he does in the preseason. So Jordan Walsh being on the bingo board, I think that's a must. I like that one a lot, Greg. The next one I'm going to go to now, and I want to see how you guys feel about shaping this. New white guy love. It's Boston. There's multiple white guys in this team. And we're, by the way, for new white guy love, Peyton Pritchard, not eligible. Too much white guy love.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Hauser, same thing. He's got plenty of white guy love. I'm going to say Baylor Shireman is still eligible for this because he's still newish, right? Like, so to me, new white guy love is qualified as Luka Garza. I'm putting Ugo Gonzalez in there, Max Shulga, and Baylor Shireman. One of those guys, in the way that I'm defining new white guy love, and I'm going to try and say the phrase new white guy love as much as I possibly can right here, is if you think back, like Peyton Pritchard's like rookie year, it's like, oh shit, like all of a sudden, like people got like a little, ended up being correctly so excited about Peyton Pritchard, but we jumped the gun a little bit at times in the early parts, and it might have blended into like the beginning of the season. But I think one of those 4 guys is gonna get the white guy Boston bump, and I don't know which one it's gonna be. So it's a little bit generic. So this is where I'm saying I'm speaking out of both sides of my mouth. Do you guys want me to get specific with this one, or can we leave this as the quartet of one of these guys is getting that white guy bump?
I think you got to, stand on this new white guy love ground, and you got to take your pick. Which white guy are you professing your love for?
I'm gonna say so. This isn't my love. This is my prediction. So it's not necessarily mine, but this is my prediction. Okay, if I have to pick one, I'm gonna say Luka Garza. I'm gonna say Luka Garza gets the white guy bump. So that's what I'll put down here. Luka Garza, white guy bump.
Honestly, I could see that with our limited front court. He does semi good in a preseason game. People are going to start thinking
that's kind of my thought process. He'll get a lot of playing time and a lot of opportunity early on. Yeah. I think Ugo's another one potentially, but I think Luka Garza, he's going to be the guy that no one's really sure of. And unless you're locked in, like you don't know about Luka Garza at Iowa 3 years ago. You know what I mean? Like you're not thinking of that unless you're really, really locked in. So I think he's going to be potentially a pleasant surprise that gets that elevation. Alex, you got one for us?
I kind of just want to go with the Anthony Simons presser because it's either going to happen or he gets traded. Like, I feel like it's got to happen.
That's pretty good.
Like it's one or the other. So he's been in Boston for at least a month now. Like, I mean, I want to see him in a Celtics uniform for at least.
They finally, I think it was last week. I think he was working out at the Auerbach Center, and they finally put him in a photo. I was like, "Holy shit! He's a leprechaun. He does exist, right? It's like a Lucky Charms. Like it's finally seeing Anthony Simons in anything resembling, Boston Celtics, social media gear, anything. Because other than the trade being, announced by Shams, it's really been just quiet.
Nothing.
Haven't heard anything. So I think that's a good one. Anthony Simons had to be on here as well. You guys want to go snake, or how you guys want to do this? You want to go back to you, Greg? What's the best way to?
Yeah, we can come back to me. So let's just recap so far. Yep. So we got Jordan Walsh, best shape of his life report / quote, new white guy love to Luka Garza. Anthony Simons gets a press conference.
Yep. So it's back to you, Greg.
Okay. I'm going to go in the first game in which he actually plays significant minutes. You guys can define what significant minutes are if you want. It's just he's coming in for 2 minutes in the fourth quarter. Hugo Gonzalez's hand size is mentioned over 2.5 times in his first game. Do I need to do an over-under here, or do I just say his hand size is mentioned in the first game?
I think hand size is mentioned is completely fine. I think in his first game, I don't think you need to set a line.
Yeah, I don't know if we need. Yeah, I don't know if we need a line for it, because I think it's interesting. You know what? I'm going back and forth because I kind of like the idea of a line of 1.5, because they're going to mention it right away when he comes in.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about it. But the second he gets a tip ball, there go those big hands. It's immediately coming. I can already hear Drew saying it. I can hear Drew making jokes about his, what they say about big hands. I feel like I can already hear him developing this within.
Okay, let's go over 1.5 then.
Yeah,
over 1.5.
Over one hand size reference over 1.5. I like that. And I would define, I would say significant minutes would be, I don't know, over 12, 15, somewhere in that range. Maybe that's too high. I don't know.
I mean, his hand is what, 9.5 inches, 10 inches?
So should we say 10 minutes?
10 minutes? Yeah.
Minute per inch. I like it. If only it always worked that way.
I was going to say that. I'm always hoping for that.
Oh, man. Okay. Hugo hand size references over 1.5 with at least 10 minutes played. Okay. So it won't count until, and that's the first.
But what if he plays under 10 minutes and Drew just mentions
that still hits. That still counts. Okay, if he mentions it twice and he plays 5 minutes, he mentions it twice. Yeah, that hits. No doubt about it.
We've got our first 4.
I like that. We're rolling here. Okay. I'm gonna go with an on-court one here. And let's go to Neemias Queta. And I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna need you guys to help me set this line here, that in the preseason, Neemias Queta is going to have another Angel Reese moment. So meaning on one single possession, he is going to have, and this is where I put in here, or the line I put is 3.5 offensive rebounds in one possession off of his own missed shots. Maybe that's too high. Maybe we go 2.5 as the line. But yeah,
I hope it doesn't get to 3.5. That would be a lot.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I haven't gone back and done the full research. It feels like it sometimes has gotten to that couple of times that it's happened. But I like that. Neemias Queta pulling the Angel Reese special, 2.5 offensive rebounds on his own misses in one possession.
Okay,
we'll have to figure out how to shorten that down.
What if it's just offensive rebounds on the same possession? Because here's how I kind of see it happening. He gets an offensive rebound. He misses the first one. He tips it. He misses the second one. Is he going to tip that third one, right? So so I think it should be just 2.5 offensive rebounds on the same possession.
In one possession. Okay.
Yeah. Doesn't have to be his own.
All right. That's number 5. We're rolling here. All right, Alex, we're coming back to you here. This is your second piece of the bingo card here. What do you got for us?
Honestly, I was kind of drawing a blank, but mine is I think that Max Shulga will have at least one preseason game where he makes at least 5 3-pointers.
Ooh, the Carson Edwards Max Shulga game. I like it.
Yeah, and then people are going to start going crazy.
Yeah, so how about we phrase it as Max Shulga goes full Carson?
Yeah, I like that. That works. Honestly, if that happens, that's trouble for my white guy bump pick. I think that might flip the narrative right there.
It might.
I like it. I like that we have competing squares, though. I think that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I do like that. So it's not necessary. And are you okay with me saying it doesn't have to be 5 threes? He just has to have like a big time heat check.
Yeah, if he makes like 3 in a row and then he pulls one from like 35.
Yeah, five's a lot. I would say even 3 made threes would be a good.
Let's just go.
there.
Max Schulga has his Carson Edwards moment.
That's fine. Yeah, we can define. But that can be subjective. That's fine.
Okay, cool. All right, back to me.
Yep, back to you, Greg.
All right, are we sure that Drew Carter is calling the games in the preseason?
I would assume. I don't know why he wouldn't be.
Okay, so I'm gonna go. Drew Carter makes a Kawhi Leonard joke in Game 1.
Ooh, I
Okay,
like
so
that.
so not the whole preseason, just right out the gate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go for it.
You
Swinging
guys
for the
cool with
fences.
that?
I like it.
Okay. Yeah, shout out to I believe this is Alex's boy Costas. He says, "Have y'all talked about the Kawhi situation?" So that kind of just triggered that. And I kind of forgot like how much Drew likes to joke around. And that just made me think of. So shout out to Costas for making me think of Kawhi, which made me think of Drew and making Kawhi Leonard joke. So Drew Carter makes a Kawhi Leonard joke in Game 1, officially on the bingo card.
I like that. Okay, I like that. Yeah, Drew. A lot of these that we're talking about now, I'm like picturing Drew speaking some of these like into existence, like as he's doing the play-by-play. All right, so this next one, I'm trying to think of whether this should be a tweet or if I should try to associate this with a podcast or a YouTube video. Someone is gonna zag and tell you the Celtics can win 50 games. Should we make that? I think a fan is likely to happen. I want to be it a little bit more challenging. So someone in the media, whether it's Celtics media or it's national media, I think someone is going to zag and tell you the Celtics can win 50. That's gonna be my one for this year.
I think it has to be on like it has to be on like Comcast or ESPN.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
Yeah.
just like a prominent, like, podcast, like even if like someone from, the Ringer or even, it can't be just like nobody's, like, it has to be like something that you're like, okay, listen, I found it here. Like someone, John Hollinger is saying the Celtics are going to win.
So someone who would likely have media credentials to a Celtics game.
Yeah, likely. So not us.
Okay. Yeah. Credentialed media zags on. Okay. Zag. Credentialed media zag.
Yep. Celtics can win 50 games this season.
So it has to be Celtics can win 50. Celtics can win 50.
All right. Let's so we got 8 right now. Alex, do you have one here? I know you said you were drawing a blank. If you are, that's okay. I got a whole list here.
I guess mine would be like something about like Tatum like visiting a preseason game or being courtside. Okay, I don't know how present he'll be, but
let's go into this because I actually have one that's similar on my list. So this is where I want to mind meld a little bit if we have something similar so that we can get. I have it on my list here. Someone's writing the article. Someone's doing the podcast about JT being back in February or January. Someone's getting that media days, and it kind of already happened, right? I kind of feel like people already like, I don't know. You're already hearing people like, I don't know, man. He's moving better than I ever thought. He got that surgery the next
Boston
day.
Sports Radio's already done this.
Yeah.
Okay. They already said he's coming. They think he's coming back in February.
Someone said early March, like 2 days ago, I think. Something like that.
So let's think about this. What's another iteration of this then? If that's already happened, what is another way to frame that, I guess?
Okay, here's one thing to think about. On every bingo board, there is one free square. I don't know if this applies to the 4x4 bingo rules.
I'll tell you what, Greg. I went to the generator. It does not work. That you need a 5x5. That's okay. It's a fair point there. But this could be our floating free space is what I think you're kind of getting.
Since it's already happened. But yeah, let's think about this a little bit more. We haven't had anything with Scal. Scal loves talking about Jason Tatum and his muscles and all that. So maybe it's something with Scal and like reporting on what he's seen from Tatum.
Here we go. So just the way that you were like Drew makes a Kawhi joke, Scal talks about how he thinks Scal with no medical degree talks about how he thinks Tatum is ahead of schedule.
Okay,
I like that. Yeah.
Okay. Scal talks about Tatum being ahead of schedule. I love it. Okay, so I think we're on square number 10.
Yeah, score
Yeah,
10.
we're on the 10 here. We're on the 10 here. We're cooking with gas right now, Greg. It's back to you here. So take this wherever you want.
I was actually gonna do another Scal one here, which is okay, but maybe I'll just throw it out there as a statement, okay? And you guys help me mold it. Somebody says Anthony Simons is actually the most talented offensive player on the roster. Like, we've seen him up close. We can't believe how talented this guy actually is. He might even be the most talented offensive player on our team. That report comes out, or somebody in training camp says that.
Okay. I have something similar written down, or it's in the same vein, where it's and I have both the inverse of this written down as well too. Simons is a steal and Simons is overrated, or Simons is a disaster. Like I have both of those kind of floating around, but I think the Simons is the best offensive player on this team. Like I think, again, I think this goes into the realm of kind of what I said about the like the media's day. Like this is going to be a media. This is probably going to be a more hyper Boston focus one. I'd be surprised if this goes to like the Windies and all that.
Oh yeah.
But I this is whether it's Corrales or Forsberg or somebody of that ilk comes out after Simons looks really good, and it's Jaylen Brown's the best player, but I think Simons is the best offensive player. So that's that take I think could come in the preseason.
Thoughts, Alex?
Yeah, I like it. I think that's a good one.
All right. Simons is the best offensive player.
We already kind of saw that with that anonymous GM. I love how anonymous GMs just say anything, but yeah. I think that could
it's going to be out there. This is a little slight aside. I'm getting a little excited to watch Anthony Simons. He's just a guy that's completely flown under the radar for me as far as like NBA watching. Like I just don't watch a lot of Blazers. They're one of those teams that's on late, especially towards the end of the Dame era. It just wasn't really fun to watch. Like I did like the Dame CJ teams. I thought were kind of fun to watch, but then like Simons was never really a part of that. He kind of came up, CJ left, and then they were never really that good. So Simons has always been a guy I've seen in like highlights. I honestly don't know how many full games I've really watched of Anthony Simons. So I'm hyping myself up here in the next week or so to get ready for some Anthony Simons ball.
Yeah, I mean, he was also the only player we really got back this offseason from any of our trade acquisitions. So like
Luka Garza begs to differ, my G.
Josh Minott. Come on.
Josh Minott. Yeah, we haven't even got to the Josh Minott segment of this
oh
bingo
my God,
card
yeah,
yet.
we should probably throw him in there.
Just hold on here, guys. Hold on. All right. So Simons is the best offensive player take. Let's see here. We're on the 11th one. Doesn't really matter whose turn it is now. We're just throwing out ideas.
Can we go ahead, Greg? Just pause on the Simons because Alex made me think about that. That report kind of already has come out, right?
Yeah.
So do we want that on our bingo board since that's already kind of come out?
Okay, let's talk about this. Let's get something with Simons. Simons needs to be on this because he is he's the most interesting, consequential player to watch in preseason, right? So he has to be on here in some way.
Maybe like I know that they said Pritchard was going to start, but maybe he has like a pretty good camp, and reports are saying that he should start over Pritchard.
Okay, how about he just wins the starting job?
Yeah, wins the starting job.
That's fine. Simons wins the starting job. That's it right there.
Yeah.
Okay, I love it.
Who Costa said all-star candidate. Oh.
Okay, so here's one. So I mean, this is definitely going to happen as well too. But it's once again how we frame it. I wasn't thinking Simons, but I had Peyton Pritchard for All-Star. When that now this is one that I feel like if he, I don't know if it's going to make the national because preseason is preseason, right? Like that's probably more like a weekend. Peyton Pritchard has some good games, and all of a sudden, Tim Bontemps or somebody is like, I don't know, Peyton Pritchard could make the All-Star team. Look at how weak the East looks 5 games into the season. Like I think that could certainly happen, but preseason, Peyton Pritchard for All-Star, Anthony Simons for All-Star, like. I think there's something there, but I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, here's my thing. I think we need more things that happen in the games.
Yeah, I got one.
We only have Hugo Gonzalez's hand size mentioned, Neemias Queta's Angel Reese moment, Max Shulga goes full Carson. That's we only have 3 things that actually happen in the games. I think
Yeah.
we need a couple more.
Okay.
I got one for that.
Alex, you said you have one. Go for it.
Yeah, the Josh Minot just like sparked a memory in my mind because he had those crazy dunks during the pro-am. So maybe he pulls out like a crazy 360 or some crazy dunk during the preseason.
Mine it has a poster.
Yeah, or just something crazy like a crazy slam. Yeah, mine it has a poster. Yeah,
Josh Minot's poster. Cool. I love it.
I like that.
I actually had one for Minot as well, and it was Josh Minot catches a body. So that works. That fits in there.
All right, so we've got 11 down. We got a few more to go here, so we're on 12. I'm looking through my list here. Anybody have one that's jumping out to them right now? I feel like we got to get Missoula in here. Everybody got a Joe Missoula one. We got to. I have one written down here that just says, "What is Joe doing?" That's just the note that I have. Is I don't know if it's going to be him busting out zone. He tries a lineup with 5 guards or something. Like I don't know. Joe is the most fascinating part of the season for me, like by far. And from day one, I'm just watching and kind of ready to dissect every little move that Joe makes. I like Joe Missoula is ejected from a game. That was from
like that
commentary
actually
here. That's good. I for as crazy as he is, he's been ejected from what, 1 game in 3 years maybe? And that's just me guessing. I don't think he actually gets as teed up or tossed in the way that like you would think, the way that he speaks of his UFC mentality.
What about he just gets a technical?
Yeah.
Preseason
I'm trying to think
tech?
of like a preseason. Yeah, preseason tech is pretty ridiculous. But yeah, we could do that. I'm game with that. I'm game with that. That's an in-game thing that we can look for, and it's Joe's intensity. So I like that. Joe gets a preseason tech.
Only been ejected once, 2022 against the Bulls.
Shout out to Jay Dog.
Isn't that kind of surprising, right? Like with again, like with Joe's, and when he gets hot, right? But he does do a good job of cooling himself down. Where then they'll interview him after he's like real fired up. He's like, doesn't matter, we're all gonna die. Like he just resets himself like really well, and that's all of his training that he does with jujitsu, whatever else. But okay, so Joe gets a preseason tech. All right, we're on to number 13. Who's got something for us here?
I have another one with Hugo, but I don't know that I wanted to have 2 Hugo things on our board. He is kind of exciting.
I believe it's
right?
Ugo, by the way.
Ugo.
Just making sure we get it right going forward.
Ugo. Okay. So the note I have for him, I have 2 notes for him. Ugo outshines Jordan Walsh. I don't know how we can like kind of put that. Is that a full training camp thing? Is that a training camp battle? Somebody finds, because I haven't found it yet, the perfect Ugo player comp where it like comes to us in the preseason.
I haven't seen enough of them to make a comp yet.
Those are the 2 Ugo ones that I have here.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Ugo outplays Jordan Walsh thing. It's just like that's going to be real. So that's something we probably can't even tell until game 1. It's like, oh shit, Ugo's first off the bench, or or he's clearly getting the run before. This
could
is a
be
good
like
one.
Ugo averages more points, rebounds, assists, steals than Walsh or something in the preseason.
That's a good one. Yeah, let's think about it. Like what? Ugo, this is the thing. Ugo is just still so unknown because all of his stats from his professional league are like he was on the bottom of the totem pole. You can't really pull too much from those, and it's like smaller clips. So it's hard to know like where his game is going to fit in the preseason. Where at least Jordan Walsh, we've seen him a couple times. Like we know what, like I would be shocked if he has a high assist total. Right. Like that just doesn't seem like that's going to be Jordan Walsh. He could have a higher scoring output. He could be more active on the boards. Those things seem a little bit more likely. So this is a tough one to try to wrangle in.
I got one for RJ Lewis. The guy that we got from
Niang. We're getting deep cut here. All right,
we're going deep.
Let's go to RJ Lewis. We'll circle back.
He drops 20 in one preseason game.
Okay.
I like
average 18.2 at St. John's. He can obviously score. Come on, give him
RJ
some minutes.
Lewis
He could get
drops
out there.
20. I mean, this is a good one because this kind of goes along with the Shulga take that you had here, Alex, where these guys are just going to get some chances, right? Like there's going to be a couple of games where they basically play the whole second half. Although I feel like in the last couple of preseasons, I'd have to go back and definitively look this up. Like I feel like Joe plays a lot of the main rotation a little bit longer than you would expect.
Yeah.
Well, because that's always one of the Missoula things, right? It's like, dude, get them off the court. Like this game doesn't matter. Like, stop it. You're freaking us out, man. So, but at some point, these guys are going to have to get a look. So RJ Lewis drops 20. We don't have a Jaylen Brown thing on here. We got to have something for Jaylen Brown on here. There's no Jaylen Brown. Should we maybe do Jaylen Brown does a live stream mid-game?
Ooh,
I don't know. I don't even know if he can do that.
No, I don't think he can. I was just fucking around, but I just think that's his new thing. Did you guys see the clip of him not getting his phone calls picked up by the Celtics?
And then he realized that he changed his number.
I should have.
Oh, is that? I didn't see that part of it. That's because then I saw Jeff Teague was like making fun of him, and then Jeff Teague called Jason Tatum, and he picked up right away.
No, Jalen said he forgot that he changed his number. So Peyton Pritchard reached out and was like, "Hey, who's this?" And then JB was like, "Oh, it's JB," but he was like, "Oh, I forgot I changed my number. That's why nobody picked up."
I wonder how many. Like, I feel like these athletes must change their number all the time. So I feel like that has to be a pretty common thing where they're just calling from new numbers, getting a whole new set of contacts. Like, gotta start can you imagine how annoyed you'd be? Like, fuck, gotta start another group chat. Like we already had a group chat, Jalen. Now we gotta do another one. Oh God. Okay. Okay. But so what can we do for Jaylen Brown? I had a few on my list here that were just like, it's gonna be too early for Greg to bring back his yearly take. Are we sure Jaylen isn't better than Tatum? I think it's gonna be a little too early for that take. But if he has a bad preseason, is it going to be too early for someone to say he still has no left? Jalen can't distribute. I don't know.
So do we want to do a negative Jalen thing, or is that I feel like that's too much for this game? Like the Jaylen Brown's not ready for this moment report or something.
Yeah, I mean it's preseason, like so I can't imagine that happening. But I'm just trying to, like I said, it's similar to what I did with Anthony Simons on my list, where it's like this could go either way. This could be extremely positive, like holy shit, this guy's way better than I thought, or man, that guy doesn't play any defense. So for Jalen, I think it's somewhat similar, but on the positive, so maybe we just do leave Jalen out because it's just like we know who Jalen is. It's going to be a regular season commentary for Jalen. So maybe we leave him to the side. Here's another young guy that I got on here, Amari Williams.
Yeah.
When do we get everybody loves a good overreaction that makes no sense? Amari Williams, talented big man that can pass the ball. Who's gonna compare him to? Who do you think I'm gonna say?
I have no fucking idea.
I was just gonna say Jokic, but who's gonna say he passes like Jokic? That's what's gonna. Maybe we just put it as who does the over exaggeration or
the Amari Williams overreaction.
There we go. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, we get an Amari Williams overreaction, and that can be in a few different ways. That could be on the broadcast. That could be in podcast form, and in
somebody calls him the steal of the draft.
Yeah, exactly. An Amari Williams overreaction. There we go.
Okay, I'm
into all right. It. We got two more. We got two more to go here, guys. Let's. We're cooking here, so we're at 15. What do we got?
Let's see. We've got a couple from
I
the
think
chat.
I have a Jaylen Brown one.
Okay, go for it, Alex.
He mentioned that he would watch film on stream. So maybe he watches preseason film on stream with his chat.
Ooh.
Does Jaylen Brown watch film on stream before the season?
He
seems to want to incorporate his streaming with his NBA season this year. I'm not really sure how that's going to work, but
so Jaylen Brown streams a film session.
Yes.
There you go.
Okay, streams a film session. I love it. Okay, in the chat we have, let's see, Kostas suggested over under 1.5 heave makes from Pritchard. I think we could put that as Pritchard takes a half or makes a half court shot. Nick Podolsky says Deuce pulls up courtside.
That's a free
he also
space.
says
We know that.
Well, I should be without J3. Yeah, I don't think Deuce shows up. I think Deuce is going to sit the season out with his dad.
Could be. Hey, about time that kid gets to bed on time, right? Give him the school year getting to bed on time. Come on, man.
Okay, Lily says JB does IRL stream courtside, so that kind of we had mentioned that earlier, right? Is that even allowed? I
yeah,
believe
I don't
that's
think
your
that.
Lily,
There's
right?
no
Alex?
chance that's gonna be allowed.
Yeah.
Shout out to Lily. What's up, Lily?
Yeah.
So
All
JB
the fellas in here
streams.
today.
Okay, how about that?
I like JB
Jalen streams a film session or does IRL courtside.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, we can combine those. All right.
All right.
If he does a
we got
courtside
one-
stream, that'd be crazy.
All right, we got one last one here, guys. So let's take some time here and make sure we get this one right. I have a funny one here that just because this is my own personal one, but just somebody remembers Xavier Tillman is still on this team. I don't know how we would quantify that, but I literally keep forgetting that he's on this team. And when you actually think about it, like I know his last year was an absolute disaster. There's a good chance he's actually he might be ahead of Luka Garza in the depth chart right now as like the first big off the bench. Depending on if Boucher starts or not. Like Boucher is another guy that we haven't mentioned yet. That's another one that could be in the mix. But yeah, Xavier Tillman, shout out to you, man. Hopefully you have a bounce back here because I keep forgetting about you. What else do we got here?
Do you have anything else written down? I have a couple. I wrote Jordan Walsh hits multiple corner threes. Jordan Walsh makes me, Greg, think of Andre Iguodala. That's a very personal one. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's probably going to be game one. Just me seeing him, just the way he runs. But yeah, those are all the ones that I had written down. I don't really have anything else on my list.
We got one or two left in here that really haven't been touched. So the ones that I have left here are somebody's going to say Chris Boucher should start, right? Someone's going to make that case. The other one I have here is who throws out fake Sam Hauser trades. I feel like he's one of the last guys left that potentially could be on the move.
Let's do another game one.
Okay, yeah. Because the only other one I had left is also probably more of a regular season thing. Was gonna be someone's gonna make the claim that Derek White is actually the second best player on the Celtics, even with Jason Tatum healthy. That Derek White is the second best player, but that's more of a regular season one. So yeah, so let's try to find something in game, something we can do with Derek White pocket threes. Maybe does Derek White have a new 3-point celebration this year?
I feel like he's not much of a innovator in terms of like celebrations. He does the pocket full threes, and all he does is just look at his 3 fingers, right? So I'm Derek. I feel like he's going to stick with that. He seems like a very simple guy.
Yeah.
That could be something though. You could put that on the bingo card. I do think Cool Genuine Phil deserves a shout. He says Baylor white chocolate, Rondo dropping dimes. So one thing I could see happening is a Baylor Shireman off the elbow white chocolate pass.
I mean, that would be, first of all, if you call that and that's correct, like
and that happens,
that's fucking nuts.
Crazy.
That's nuts. If he
just saw it.
does that, so I like where your head's at. I think that's too outside. Like I just don't think that has any chance of hitting. And I will eat my words. If you're somehow right, I'll come on here. I'll lay out, hand up, all that. But I do like going down this Baylor Shireman route of. I was thinking like from the little bit that we've seen, and I think we could go two ways with it. Either something to do with his passing, like we're talking about, or it feels like Baylor Shireman's going to be that new like hustle guy. Like almost like Baylor. Let's steal from our friends over at First to the Floor. How many like Baylor Shireman hits the floor 3 times in one game? Like first, you know what I mean? Dives on the floor,
dives into the crowd.
Yeah, like some combination of that, and we can keep it to one game, or we could keep it to tracking throughout the preseason, where it's like Baylor Shireman does this 3 times in the preseason, and maybe after 3 games, we're like he's done it twice, got one more game, and like we're kind of like on edge, like is Baylor Shireman gonna hit? Maybe that's the square that we need to win our community bingo, and we're waiting to see will Baylor Shireman get on the floor to earn that bench spot, that rotation spot. So it doesn't have to be the diving on the floor thing, but I like something with Baylor Shireman. Could be 3-point shots, could be
Tommy
something
Award.
with his passing.
Wins
Yeah.
the first Tommy Award.
Yeah, the Tommy Award is I kind of wish, you know what, I kind of wish they hyped up the Tommy Award more. I feel like that's something, you know, every once in a while they bring it up, and like I almost forget they still do give that out every game. I wish the lineage of that was still a little bit stronger, but that's an aside. But what can we do with Baylor Scheierman? What do you guys think is the best attribute to watch of Baylor Scheierman or to keep an eye on for this preseason?
I like the hustle aspect, like diving on the floor, but I think we should track that throughout the whole preseason.
Okay, so
maybe
what's
like
the line?
under like 2.5 times. Like how many real times do you have a chance to dive for a ball in a game? Maybe once.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So like he takes that. I mean, if he has the opportunity, we've seen him do it. Like I expect him to do it. But like how many times does he get that opportunity?
Here's it's a great point, Alex. One thing I'm thinking about is the rule changes, right? I mean, I know Peyton Pritchard heaves have been mentioned. What if now that the heaves don't count against field goal percentage, people are fighting to take heaves and it's not just Pritchard taking the heaves? What if it's like somebody other than Peyton Pritchard takes a full court heave? Maybe it's Baylor Scheierman.
I like this. How about this? Just to your point, anyone other than Peyton Pritchard hits
or takes?
Yeah, no, hits.
I think hits.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone other than Peyton Pritchard hits an end of quarter heave.
Because they're going to take it.
One.
If it's not counted against them, they're going to take it every time.
Yeah, and Peyton's not going to be in every single time. So I think, especially in the preseason, in the regular season, it'll be a different story. But in the preseason, there should be a couple guys that get an opportunity. So anyone besides Peyton Pritchard hits an end of quarter heave.
Love it. All right, we made our 16 squares. You want to recap first, Will?
Yeah, let's do it here. So we got 16 squares that we're going to be coming up with. We've got Jordan Walsh, best shape of my life. Luke Garza, the white guy bump. Anthony Simons gets a presser. Is he still on the team? Ugo, hand size reference, over 1.5 with at least 10 minutes played in his first game. Nimi, over 2.5 offensive rebounds in one possession, aka the Angel Reese special. Max Shulga, one preseason game with we changed this one. Sorry, I didn't update this one. Max Shulga with
Carson.
a heat check. Goes full Carson. Max Shulga goes full Carson, heat check moment for Max Shulga. Drew Carter makes Kawhi joke in game 1. Got to plant them trees. Media zag. Celtics can win 50 games this season. Who's going to step up to the plate? Who has that take? Scal. Medical opinion. Has JT ahead of schedule. Look out. Coming soon. Jason Tatum back on the court. Anthony Simons wins the starting job. We'll see. End of the preseason. We'll find that one out. Josh Minott has a poster. Look out for the big dunk. Joe Mazzulla gets a preseason tech. Crazy Joe Mazzulla. Preseason, midseason form. RJ Lewis drops 20. Shout out to UMass. Who dares to have the Amari Williams overreaction? It's coming. It's out there. Who's going to do it? We need it for the bingo board. Number 15, JB streams a film session or films Celtics-related content, we'll say. Directly Celtics-related content. Practice, courtside, whatever it might be. And the last one, anyone besides Peyton Pritchard hits an end of quarter heave. That, ladies and gentlemen, is your final preseason bingo board. I like it. I'm into this. I'm excited for this.
Yeah. The more I think about the JB one, the more I think he actually could stream courtside preseason game. Like say like the last one.
If it's ever going to happen, it's going to be preseason because
Yeah.
they're more willing to do. And also there's, this is a brand new year where it's Amazon, NBC. Like we don't necessarily know what they're going to be. I think I saw the other day that I can't remember if it was NBC or Amazon that they're going to try to have some of their reporters like actually streaming or like sitting in the timeouts with the team so that they can report, like not just like over here, but like be in there. I don't know. We'll see. Or they'll be at the end of the bench so that they can get better intel. So we'll see. I don't know. Well, it'll be interesting to keep track of that, just to see what's different with Amazon, NBC, some of these different productions. But guys, 1 week away, we've got our bingo card. Alex, I know you're undertaking this here. We're going to put this out to the audience. We're going to create a community board here. So we're going to find the best way to do this. We're going to compile it. We're going to put it out there to share with everybody. So again, as always, make sure you guys are following us. Green Envy Pod, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok. And what we're going to do throughout the preseason, probably in the next week or two, we'll be back to doing 2 episodes per week once we have some actual media content to cover, some actual basketball. First preseason game, just look this up here, guys, is October 8th against the Grizzlies. So we've got 4 preseason games: Celtics Grizzlies on October 8th, Celtics Raptors October 10th, Cavs Celtics October 12th, Raptors Celtics October 15th, and then we are steamrolling to 76ers Celtics on October 22nd to kick off the season. So we're swinging into full gear here, and so we're going to be checking back in with this bingo board throughout preseason. Greg, Alex as well. Any final thoughts here before we wrap up this bingo edition of Green with Envy?
I'll let Alex go first.
I like it. I think we could check off most of this list. I think it's a pretty fun game to play. Especially, it makes me want to tune in now to Celtics basketball.
I need a reason. I'm just gonna say,
yeah.
I needed a reason to watch preseason basketball, so I'm glad that we're doing this. One thing I wanted to just throw out there for you guys, I've been doing this with my team at work. One of my coworkers, who's also a director, says that she does this with her team every week, and I thought it'd be fun to do it on the pod. I want to introduce mediocre life updates, a little segment where we just talk about like some very boring, basic shit in our lives that we want to update each other on or update the audience on. For example, it could be like, I got a new pair of shoelaces and restrung my shoes. Like, it's just something very boring and mundane that you now are excited, that you like actually found some sort of fulfillment or excitement about.
This is the funniest podcast pitch of all time. So I got an idea. We're going to talk about, and we're going to pitch to each other, the most boring, mundane thing that you can think of. It's going to do huge numbers.
But that you were actually somewhat excited about.
Go first if you guys got something. I gotta think about this.
I mean, I have some stuff.
Okay.
Alex,
Give an
you-
example, then I'll go off that.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is kind of a combination of things. So Danielle and I have been doing like movie night, like date nights, where we turn our like downstairs into like a little theater. We buy theater chocolate and like theater snacks and all this. It's also a great excuse just to have like leftover candy in your fridge and in your house because you're buying all these snacks that you don't finish as you're watching the movie. But one thing that I was thinking about, this is not necessarily even, I'm already like breaking the segment. This isn't really a mediocre life update. This is just more something that I found interesting, a fun fact that I learned. Did you know that Haribo gummy bears aren't actually called gummy bears?
What are they called?
They're called gold bears.
They're not all gold though.
Yeah,
I know, but that's what they're called. They're called gold bears. They're not called gummy bears.
A little bit of Mandela effect, I guess, right? We all just assumed that it was
the
Haribo gummy bears.
Thing. And I like always, I grab them. I always just assume they say gummy bears, but they say gold bears. But one thing I do want to say, mediocre life update, put your gummy bears in the freezer. Gummy bears in the freezer is the way to go. I think.
First of all, like just about any candy in the freezer is fantastic. There's exceptions, but like 85% of candy in the freezer is an upgrade to the candy. It's generally a fantastic vibe. Again, exceptions, but for the most part, I'm on board with that. I've not done the gummy bears though, but that intrigues me. So I do like that update. Oh, this is okay. Maybe this is that's a good sample. Maybe we come back next week and we have, because I got nothing right now. I'm just blanking right now.
Let Alex go and then.
So if you got something, Alex, go for it.
I don't know if this really qualifies, but like this is not like recent. This was like 3 weeks ago. When I was working at CSI, they have a company called Gemini, and they wanted this label printed on like the thing you use to put your luggage in at the airport, like those bins. Yeah. So I spent probably around 15 hours putting 5 stickers on bins. Like this Gemini stickers, and that's what I did for 3 days of work, just putting those stickers on bins.
Did you? I don't know if that.
No, I mean it was tedious. It gave me something to do, but it was. I now know what Gemini is. It's a cryptocurrency credit card. So if you're interested in that, there you go.
Okay, I like it. I like it.
I mean,
I don't.
that
once
felt
again-
like it's true to the sentiment of the segment. that felt
Yes,
very
but
true.
okay, here's my thing. The mediocre life update is supposed to be something that's like mediocre but brings you excitement, and this doesn't necessarily sound like it brought Alex excitement.
No,
That
it
might
did
be
not
my,
really bring me excitement.
okay. Here's another one. After years of only having one credit card, I finally caved and purchased a JetBlue credit card. So now I have a JetBlue credit card, and I'm going to get more airline points. And I'm excited just to use. I'm like actually excited to. Well, one, I have to walk to my mailbox, which is like 100 yards away from my house. So it's close, but far enough where it's inconvenient. And I have to go get that credit card so I can start putting some stuff on there. But I'm really excited to have another credit card.
Shout out to JetBlue. Yeah, you got to get JetBlue to sponsor the
That'd be great.
podcast here, so we can get some more airline miles. All right, I'm struggling on this one. Let's just go with Alex, you and I have been talking a little bit about like golf in our chat here. So the other day I just decided, and until this has been kind of my ongoing rule with golf, is that I'm not ready to fully commit until my body breaks down, and then I'm still trying to get as much out of my body as I can, and trying to take, a day to play basketball and at least 1 or 2 days to do cardio and continue to play basketball, which at 36 years old, the end is near. I can see it. It's coming fast,
I feel
especially with a kid, just like being able to like, maintain the body. It's we're 5 months in, it's getting tough. So, and I don't see that slowing down anytime soon. So I know the end is near, so I'm holding out, but in the meantime, I can't hit a driver for my life. Can't hit a hybrid for my life. Irons, I feel pretty good about. So I decided I'm just going to go all in. I went and bought 3 iron. So now I'm teeing off strictly with irons, going with the 3 iron here out of the tee box. Went and bought the other day, test out in the simulator. Wasn't too bad. Still got some kinks we got to work out, but it felt a lot better than what I do off the tee box with my driver. So we're, I know some people feel a certain way about the guy that only tees off with irons. To them, I say, fuck off. And I'm going to enjoy myself out there with my irons, and we're going to do our best to play bogey golf. And that's what it is.
It's a good mediocre life update, Will.
There we go.
That is.
All right.
I
think
I have a golf one now. I have a golf one too.
Now we're rolling, baby.
There we go.
Now we're out of control. All right, we'll do Alex's one, then we'll get the hell out of here.
I got one more.
Okay. Well, for my birthday, I got this brand new putter for golf. And it's like a huge putter. This thing, it just looks like a square. And it hasn't changed my game at all, but for some reason it gives me like an extra sort of confidence. So I guess buying a new putter. Also, on your point with the 3 iron, the 3 iron is my least favorite club in my bag. I don't think I've used it all summer. Like I have it in my bag. I haven't used it.
It's the first time I've ever hit one. I had a 5 iron, and I've had a couple hybrids, and I don't know what happened. Just I was hitting hybrids at least. I've never been able to hit driver well, but I was able to hit hybrids well for a while, and then like a couple months ago, I don't know what happened. It just escaped me, and now I've got what was the guy's name in Major League that can't throw it back to the pitcher? Like the catcher when he can't, he has the yips.
I can't remember.
I went full Chuck Knobloch. Let's go with that one. I went full Chuck Knobloch. I couldn't get it. Like I was hitting it up to the next. I was hitting from the Blues to the Reds, and that was about it. And that's if it wasn't flying out of play. So I was like, all right, I got to get a little bit more distance, keep this thing in play. Let me get, at least to a 7-8 iron on my next shot. So that's back to my life update. But Greg, give us yours here, and we'll wrap this up.
Okay, quick golf tangent. Have you watched Happy Gilmore 2?
No, I've heard it's atrocious, and the little bit that I've seen looks like my wife Lorena brought it up to watch it, and I was like, we're not wasting our time. We don't have enough time to waste on this right now.
First 45 minutes, not that bad. Honestly, I thought the first 45 minutes were pretty good. It gets a little crazy.
You're the first person to ever that I've heard so far give any type of like even mediocre review of that movie.
Watch Happy Gilmore 2 so we can talk about it on the pod. Just like a 5-minute, it's worth. I think you can get through an hour and a half of watching Happy Gilmore 2. You don't have to do it. Let's move on.
You can tell when I'm not going to do something.
Yeah. I played 1-on-1 for the first time in several years on Friday. So I played against Townsend on Friday because you have turned me down for shoot around sessions the last 2 times I've asked you, and he whooped me. Townsend is a fucking tank. So he just like bodied me and pushed me around. So today I went to the gym at lunchtime and I went into the court after I benched and squatted, did my heavy lifts, got those out of the way. And there was a 16-year-old kid, little white kid, shooting around, playing ball by himself. And I was like, you know what? I need a confidence boost. I'm gonna go challenge this kid to a game of one-on-one. So I walked up to him and immediately just like spanked him 11-0. And he wasn't bad. He was like a scrawny little 16-year-old. And then the rest of the time, I was just like, you know what, man, I just want to work on my defense anyway. Like let's hoop, and then I'll just play defense on you. So the rest of the time, I just played defense. But it felt really good just to go 11-0 off the jump, get my confidence back for our men's league game on Thursday.
How many times did he score on you?
He was pretty good.
Afterwards.
He was actually pretty good. So I don't know, 50% of the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still a good ratio, especially after an 11-0 beating.
Yeah.
That's
and like I was given, I wasn't going like all out on defense. I didn't want to like steal his soul, right? So I was kind of giving him some pointers, went full coach mode and tried to convince him to try out for his varsity team because he said he didn't feel confident enough to do it, but he goes to some like magnet charter school here in Austin. It sounds like it was like a nerd school, and I was like, dude, you can make the team.
Give it a shot, man. I think give it another shot. I think you might have a chance here. All right, I like it. What are we calling this segment, Greg? What's the name of this?
So shout out to coworker of mine, Anna Street. Shout out to my girl Anna Street for the mediocre life update segment. That's what we're gonna call it. Mediocre life
Updates. All right, that will be something. That will be a new recurring segment we get here. Mediocre life updates. And that's going to do it. That's this episode of Green with Envy. We've got our bingo cards again, locked in on our socials. Alex will be posting that here in the coming days. And we'll follow it all the way throughout preseason. And we're gearing up. We're locking in. Hopefully you guys are too. Appreciate all of you for riding with us. And for myself, for Greg, for Alex, it's another episode of Green with Envy. We will catch you guys later. Peace.